Thank you for watching this video. We are going to talk now about, could the dollar collapse if our economy does? Now, this is going to sound really crazy to you, but if our economy collapses, do you know what's going to happen in my view? The dollar will strengthen. Now, let me tell you why. Right now, the dollar is the world's reserve currency. So what does that mean? The reserve currency means that we are the world's bank account. People come here, they put their money in the US Treasury because they know that we have the printing press. Okay? If they buy $1 million of our bonds, essentially lending us $1 million, they know that no matter what happens, we can print them $1 million. Okay? The Chinese know that if they showed up tomorrow and said, I want my $1 trillion right now, we could say, give me a moment. Would you like that in $100 bills, $1,000 bills? How'd you like me to print that up for you? And we can go in the basement, we can print it up, and we can give it to them. Now, what they will get may be worth pennies on the dollar because of inflation, I'll give you that, but the point is, no one can ever lose their money by putting it in the United States because we can print enough dollars to give it back to them. It may be worthless, but they'll still get their $1 million back, okay? So because of that, the worse things get, the more people want to put their money in the place where they know they're gonna get it back. Even though it may be pennies on the dollar, at least I know I'll get it back. Now, the United States is the world's greatest economy. There's an old expression that says that when we sneeze, the world gets a cold. So what happens? If our economy starts getting worse and worse and we get sick and things are getting bad, guess what's happening to the rest of the world? The rest of the world is in way worse shape than we are because we drive the rest. So if they're getting worse, what are they gonna do? They're gonna run to the United States and put their money in our treasuries again because they know we're gonna print the dollars to pay them back regardless of what happens. Now, if you think this sounds crazy, think back to 2010 and 2011. What was going on in those 2 years? We had the debt ceiling debate. You may remember that the Congress was debating whether or not to raise the debt ceiling. If we didn't raise the debt ceiling, we were going to default on our debt and go bankrupt, and it was going to destroy the United States economy. You may remember those times, right? What happened during that time? You would think that people would be running from the dollar. I don't want to have my money in a place that's about to go bankrupt. I don't want to have my money in a place where they're going to default on their debt. That didn't happen. The opposite did. People came and we were selling our treasuries in record numbers. People, when they were scared, they actually brought more money into the United States because it's the safest place even when we're sick. So this notion that our economy is going to go very badly and then suddenly, you know, the dollar's going to collapse and all that, in a perverse, bizarro world way, the worse our economy gets, the scareder people get out there that they're going to be in worse shape than we are, and the more money they'll bring over here. Now, if we lose our reserve currency status, then all bets are off. But, you know, who's going to take over the job of being the world's bank? Okay? You have to have a stable political system, and you have to have a bank big enough to hold all that money. Okay, Switzerland would explode if all the world decided to put their money in their banks. They would have such massive inflation, it would destroy their economy. So you need a bank big enough. So who's big enough to do that? The Eurozone, China, and the United States. That's it. So let me ask you, do you think people are going to put their money in the Eurozone to replace the dollar? I don't think so. Those people can't get their acting gear to do anything right. Think about what's going on right now. Also, the Chinese, are we going to actually let the Chinese be in charge of our money, to be our bank? Are you going to go put all your money, if you're the world, in the Chinese bank, knowing full well that those guys are not, you know, very friendly to the rest of the world, and they'll manipulate the currency to their own benefit at our expense? No. The reason why people come to the U.S. is because they know we're a benevolent country, we have the bank that's big enough, and we're politically stable, and we're not out to take over the world like some others might. So the likelihood that we'll lose our reserve currency, I give it a very, very tiny chance, and therefore I give it a big chance that if things go badly, the dollar will actually strengthen, not weaken. So don't worry about it. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you benefited from it. We have lots of other videos on our website that you can watch. Moneymatters.net is the place to go for that. So thanks again.